We're back, baby. It's Monday, creeping up on Christmas, into college football season, kind of, which it never really ends. But I'm going to be a little upset about it because you know what? I think I've earned the right to be upset about it.
You have.
But in honor of the Army-Navy game, which ended up being a hell of a game, even though the under didn't hit, but we'll talk about that later. I wanted to do a cold open about one of the best snipers. Some people say he's the best sniper ever of all time. All right, U.S. Marine Sergeant Carlos Norman Hathcock II. Okay, this dude's from Little Rock, Arkansas. All right, his nickname is White Feather, which basically means surprise, you're dead. Basically is what that means. So he served from 1959 to 1979. He had 2 tours in the Vietnam War. Confirmed kills 93. Okay.
Really?
So a boy's going over there handling business. But the craziest thing about his story is they sent him on a one-man mission in Vietnam to go behind enemy lines to take out this North Vietnamese general. Oh boy goes by himself for 4 days. No sleep, no food, no water, just crawling. Gets within 700 yards, takes old dude out, crawls all the way back. Never got up to walk, run, or anything. 8 days.
He crawled the whole way?
Crawled the whole way.
How'd he do it?
Huh?
How'd he do it?
Look, I'm not White Feather, man. I don't know how he crawled like that. But he also, until 2002, had the longest sniper shot, 2,500 yards. It's 25 football fields, man. That's a long way.
Yards.
It reminds me of Wanted, when that movie Wanted, when they're assassins and they shoot it and it goes from one side of downtown to the other. I mean, 2,500 yards. I mean, it's lights out. So I wanted to give a shout out to U.S. Marine Sergeant Carlos Norman Hathcock II in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Look, you hit me from 2,500 yards.
Yeah, 2,500.
With that technology?
Sometimes you got to tip your cap.
I know I'm dead, but I'm tipping
DeGrom, but man, was that ball a strike? Sometimes you got to tip your cap. 2,500 yards out, wake up, good night. I mean, props is props. He's the Steph Curry of his time. Army beats Navy in double overtime. Mississippi State head coach Mike Leach gets hospitalized in Jackson. And Brock Purdy leads the 49ers in a dominant win over Tom Brady and the Bucs, who's irrelevant now. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. It's pretty simple. When Georgia is clicking on all cylinders, they're without a doubt the best team in the country. Now, does that mean Michigan, TCU, or Ohio State should just go ahead and give them the national championship trophy? Hell no. But I do find myself asking, if it was me, would I rather play last year's Georgia team that won the Natty or this year's Georgia team? Now, my answer may surprise you because I know how dominant Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis and that whole defense was. And they were an all-timer. They say they're the greatest defense ever. But this year's Georgia team has something even more dangerous than one elite side of the ball. They have balance. This Georgia team has a quarterback that has seen the mountaintop and is playing his best ball, which he should. I mean, the guy's the same age as Lamar Jackson, but that's neither here nor there. And this roster has more ways to beat you than last year's team did. Now, if the defense isn't playing up to the elite level, they can win shootouts. They can also win grinded out, low-scoring games. And while they've maintained that toughness and that identity from 2021, they are more chameleon-like than ever, which makes them more dangerous than ever. So I've been asked if I would take Georgia or the field. Well, with this squad and roster, give me the Dogs, making it back-to-back. And bring in co-host, friend, honoree, 35 years old, mind of a scientist, former Heisman candidate, and Michigan quarterback David Cont. And when he makes sure he protects the city at night, you see that guy jumping around from rooftops? That's David Michigan. But we don't ask.
That's a whole different guy.
That's a whole different. Yeah, it's a whole different guy, Green Hawk. And then my other co-host, former Western State Colorado wide receiver, 6'4". He's got mitts, people. I mean, you can't get anything by this guy. He should be playing goalie for the U.S.
I still got
Blaine Crane. All right, all compliments aside, guys. Georgia, the field. Who are you taking? Go ahead.
With my life on the line.
Life on the line. No Michigan. You never played it. You just landed here.
I'm just trying to live.
You're just trying to live. You're just trying to live.
Give me Bulldogs.
Okay.
Give me
I like
Bulldogs.
that. Blaine, Georgia, ... or the field?
I mean, I could sit here and just, be that guy who has the wild takes and be creative, but I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's got to be Georgia. I don't know how you sit here and take the field. I mean, I think their best matchup, the best chance for them to lose is their first game. That's Ohio State. Do I feel like Michigan's a better football team than Ohio State? Yeah, obviously. But styles make what? Styles make fights. And Michigan wants to what? So you're not going to beat Georgia running the ball 25 times. You're just not. You're going to have to spread it out. Last team who beat Georgia was who? Bama. Bryce Hooper 400 plus. That's how you have to beat Georgia. You watch against the LSU game.
I've gone back and forth because I've heard Luganville say it. I've heard a lot of people say it. And I can see where people are coming from with Ohio State has a better chance to beat Georgia because of the way they play and the players they have on the outside. And you look at, like Blaine said, the only team that beat Georgia. But I do think this is where J.J. McCarthy can kind of make the difference a little bit for Michigan. Mm-hmm. Michigan, if they do play Georgia in the national championship, and again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but those are the favored teams. Michigan plays with a physical edge. Now, I know you're not going to go out there and bully Georgia, most likely. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very tough to do. If you're going to move the ball on Georgia, it's going to have to be a very balanced attack, or you got to hit big plays through the air, similar to what Michigan did versus Ohio State. But part of me believes that Michigan can limit Georgia's possessions somewhat by the way they play. And they can keep it close, and J.J. McCarthy on those 3rd and 6s, on those 3rd and 7s, is athletic enough to run for the first down or at least extend the play enough to have a chance to convert some of those. Because that's where Michigan got beat last year. Outside of Georgia lining up on offense and just running bread and butter stuff and it working, when Michigan was on offense, McNamara was not a threat to run. They were very one-dimensional in what they did. Georgia was able to mix coverages. They felt fine up front. And a stalemate against last year's team, there was no difference maker for Michigan in the pocket that could create that big-time play or that drive-extending play. This year, they actually have that. Now, can J.J. do it by himself? No. Is he a good enough thrower to keep Georgia honest in the back end? We have to see if he can continue to put it together. But I don't want to confuse this year's Michigan team with last year's Michigan team. While the identity is the same, just as a defensive guy like I am looking at how to defend them, J.J. McCarthy makes me have to tinker with things in a way that Georgia didn't have to last year. That's the one difference. And I think, honestly, that's why Jim Harbaugh, that was one of the main reasons that Jim Harbaugh decided to go with J.J. McCarthy and not make the safe decision with Cade McNamara. Because, yeah, you can beat Rutgers with Cade McNamara. You can line up and bully a decent amount of the Big Ten with Cade McNamara. Play action pass. Hey, don't get his feet. Don't turn the ball over.
Stay with him.
But you're not beating Georgia with Cade McNamara. You're not. You're not. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the more I get it, I get that narrative. I think you can argue it logically. I'm just telling you, man, JJ's a little bit different flavor, and I think that could be one of the things that just all Michigan has to do is hang around, David. Mm-hmm. They don't have to come out and go up by 14.
Close in the fourth.
And that's how they've played.
You have a chance. And David Pollack hit the nail on the head that these two programs were in completely different positions last season. Yeah. Keep in mind, Jim Harbaugh hadn't beaten his biggest rival up to last year, hadn't won the conference, hadn't made the college football playoff. When those when all three of those things happened back to back to back, Michigan was playing with house money, finally with a little bit of confidence that they could go in, that they could beat OSU, that they could win the Big Ten championship. Georgia was in a different position. They had already done that. They had already won the conference. They had already made it to the national championship and had to watch, Tua come in and complete a last-second touchdown to lose to Alabama for another natty, and they just lost to him in the SEC championship. The 1 year when we all finally agreed, man, Georgia could actually be the best team in the country. They were in completely different spots, and Kirby Smart had an entire month to game plan for that game. Just beat the brakes off of them. Now you look and you see, like, Michigan's kind of in a position that Kirby Smart and Georgia were in last year, where it's like, okay, well, now we've gotten to the college football playoff. We've beaten our rival 2 years in a row. Now maybe there's a little something extra. Maybe they can go for it.
Yeah, and you've seen them. You've seen Georgia before. So if a lot of the guys on this team this year played in that game last year, there's going to be butterflies, but it's not. You at least know what's coming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You at least know what's coming. You know how you have to prepare and really how small the margin of error is. And I want to get to the Booster Club in a second, Blaine. But, when you look at a potential, Georgia and Michigan matchup, do you think maybe, because look, Brock Bowers has made a ton of plays all year. But let's not act like Georgia's receivers are this elite group. A.D. Mitchell coming back is going to be huge. He balled in the Natty last year. But Georgia doesn't have a ton of weapons on the outside.
You get A.D. Mitchell back, and you sub McConkey, you put Darnell Washington.
How healthy is Ladd? That's
well, I appreciate Ladd's going to be back. Right?
Is he?
Yeah, I haven't heard
back. I'm not worried about him being back. How healthy
like that.
I mean, that's
in my head, Ladd McConkey is healthy. He's going to be Ladd McConkey. You put A.D. Mitchell out there, Ladd McConkey, Darnell Washington, and Brock Bowers. Well, you got a lot of things to worry about.
That 12 personnel is hell, buddy.
So, I mean, that's the thing. So, if it's a healthy Georgia team, and a lot of people don't talk about especially you go back in those playoffs last year, when it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, you want to talk about J.J. McCarthy's legs. Let's talk about Stetson's legs. Mm-hmm. That's huge, too. Stetson's that guy, veteran guy. He's like 43 years old. It's 35, and he sees a chance to get a first down. He'll get that first down. And I get it when it's Michigan team. It's a different Michigan team, and I think it's a better Michigan team. But I still think, Georgia team last year was a lot better than this team this year. I think that. Their offense last year still averaged 40 points a game. Their offense last year statistically is better than their offense this year. But the styles make fights. And if I'm Michigan, there's no way I'm going to get under center and just try to feedbacks. I'm doing what? I'm pitching backwards early like we saw in the Ohio State game. I'm throwing on first down. I'm pushing the greatest thing for Michigan was to watch that LSU game. It's the greatest thing. You now know this somewhat of the recipe how to beat Georgia. You're going to have to air the ball out. You're going to have to finesse Georgia. If you think you're going to line up and run the ball and those things down in Athens, Georgia, it's not going to happen. You have to finesse these guys. Yeah. And I don't care if that hurts someone's feelings or this, but those are look at Jalen Carter. You think you're going to turn around and
consistently.
Say, here. No, yeah. He's a number 1 pick.
Yeah. And I think some of the points per game by the offense was skewed last year because I swear, I think Georgia scored a defensive touchdown or a special teams touchdown in every game. The amount of points that the defense scored, not only just gave up, that they scored with special teams in general. Going back to Missouri, I can remember a bunch. But Stetson's making throws in the intermediate passing game right now that just, you don't appreciate them until you see that back view and the timing and anticipation matches up with guys really not being open. It's going to be really cool to see. But speaking about house money, Cone, you brought it up. If you like to bet a little bit, and we got a big game tonight, Monday Night Football, Cardinals, Patriots, bowl games, it's ton of fun to bet bowl games, even though it's very hard, one of the hardest things to do in my opinion. And of course, the playoff. You need to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, all right? And use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, because if you place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game, like, I don't know, the Cardinals tonight, you get $150 in free bets if they do. Now, that's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Guys, whether it's the same game parlays, the easy and fast payouts, the player prop options, it's just a plethora of awesomeness. You can pretty much find every bet. You know, if I think Ramondre Stevenson's going to tie his shoes halfway through the third quarter, I can probably find that bet on DraftKings somewhere. They do the best job. We all use it. We've used it for a while, and it's been absolutely beautiful, and the Booster Club loves it.
I took that shoe tying bet today.
You did? Yeah. Good. What was it, like, plus 2,500?
It was plus 850.
Nice. Good. Ramondre
He's not spatted. You know, if he was spatted.
You're tough. The odds are spatted. I mean,
they're not coming
has to
tie.
come off.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you have to tie it.
Just don't bet on Denard Robinson.
There's nothing like having a sports book you can trust.
Yep.
All right, and DraftKings is a sports book you can trust. They have all your lines out, college basketball, NFL, hell, college football. It's not even out right now. Get your futures in there too. So, you know, it's a good sports book. You want to go to the Butcher Club?
Let's do it.
Justin Couch, $5 donation. Appreciate it, brother.
What's up, brother?
For Mike Leach, prayer hands for Mike Leach, and I get to listen live, man. Those are two. One bad thing, one awesome thing. Let's go to Jimbo Eagle, $5 donation. What's up, Jimbo? Question for Crane & Company. Does the Northeast region of the country have a future in college football? Why or why not? Hashtag Cuse mode.
Yes, I think the North. Look, I think college football is one of those, you know, rare sports where it touches every part of the country. Now, look, there are some, obviously, in the Southeast. It's a little bit, you know, different than it is in other places, maybe compared to the West Coast. But, I mean, the Northeast, I mean, if we're thinking of the same geographical spot that I call the Northeast, that you call the Northeast, like, I don't understand why Ohio's in the Midwest, but we're not going to get into that. Yes, I think so. Look, football is cyclical. Okay, especially college football. Football in general, but especially college football. Don't count a region of the country out. Look, a lot of people, right, had counted out basically the West Coast. USC, are they ever going to get back? Whatever. They go make a splash hire with Lincoln Riley. Now, all of a sudden, Oregon State's looking like they may win 10 games. Jonathan Smith, their head coach, just got an extra $30 million put in the bank. That's a hell of a dam a Beaver can build out there. So, look, yeah, I wouldn't look at it as, oh, well, this part of the country, will they ever be relevant in college football again? Yes. Who knows? Greg Schiano and Rutgers and them are probably going to be pretty good in 2 to 3 years, as crazy as that sounds. We've seen Dino Babers in Syracuse. Again, you look at the northeast part of the country. I sit there and look on the coast as well. I know West Virginia is not technically northeast. They're on the coast. But in that area, you're going to have good football in general, and it's going to be pretty consistent.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob Brown, $5 donation. Appreciate
What's up, Jacob?
He says, I may be on a 7-game losing streak in Booster Club bets. Hey, it's okay. Trust her. You're safe. But there's nothing like hitting a 9-piece same game parlay at plus 6,300 to ease the pain. Congrats,
plus 6,300.
Jacob Brown, more like Jacob
never
Green.
hit any of
We need the details on that hit.
Yeah,
you got to tell us.
I want each bet and the exact time you took.
You got to tell us.
All right, Trey Bodenheimer, $5 donation. If UGA never won another game, that would be one too many. Hashtag the barking is weird. The barking is weird.
Yeah, look, but everybody has, here's the thing. Everybody kind of has their weird stuff, right? Georgia fans bark. A&M fans dress up in overalls and scream in the woods all together at midnight. Auburn fans, hold on. Auburn fans throw toilet paper in a tree. Look, we do weird stuff in college football. Okay, like you said, we play for Old Oaken buckets. And,
golden hats.
Aunt Mimi's syrup
boots.
spoon.
Little brown jugs.
I forgot what game Aunt Mimi's syrup spoon was, but it's
Aunt
one of
Mimi's
them.
syrup spoon?
Yeah, I think that's Bishop Sycamore.
Hey,
And
you got to eat.
And I
You got to eat, buddy.
You got to eat. But no, look, we do weird stuff in college football. I mean, look, again, I can go through the list. Get Alabama. You ever been to Tuscaloosa?
I have.
Enough said.
I have.
Enough said.
What weird stuff does Tuscaloosa, other than just being weird in general?
Nobody's from there.
Nobody's from there. Is that the weird things?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have there's a quirkiness. But it's like rooting for the Soviet Union right now. It's like it's either perfect or burn it down. Yeah. Perfect or overthrow it. We're storming. We're going to the castle. We're going to Romanov this thing. Oh, go in the basement. You'll be fine. Pete Golding, Bill O'Brien, anybody associated not named Nick Saban.
This would be a good top 5. What's the weirdest
college
football celebration?
The thing I love, and I love Alabama fans, obviously I'm marrying one of them. But so I'll be like, I heard that. So basically I'll be like, okay. Somebody else like, man, Bill O'Brien sucks. Or like, Pete Golding should be fired. Like, yeah, man. Nick Saban made a horrible hiring decision with those guys, didn't he? And they're like, wait. It's like there's like a separation. Like, Nick Saban cannot be blamed for anything.
Yeah.
But he's the one that hired him. That's why I always love saying that, because it's like, well, he did hire him. And they're like, well, but again, everybody has their own quirky thing. You know what? In the comments or in the Booster Club, tell us the one weird thing that your team does, that your team's fan base does. List the weird things. I've given you a couple. I know there's a bunch out there. There's some that I probably have no idea about that exist out there. Like somebody, slaps somebody with a waffle. West Virginia burns couches.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, there's a weird, it's just part of it.
All right, let's go to Greg Hart. Got a lot of it.
Got a lot of it.
$2 donation.
Got a lot of that bread.
I'm asking every week. It's the Lions' chances of making the playoffs.
Good. You know what? Let's get the best and worst. Let's just get the best and worst. I'm excited for this.
Go ahead.
All right. I want to start in NFL. How about that?
Start there.
Best Detroit Lions.
There we go.
Okay. I want to give you credit, David Cone. Because when they were 1-5 or whatever, you came on here, I believe, and you were like, I think Dan Campbell and them can still get it done. Now, are the Lions going to make the playoffs? I don't know. Hell, 7 teams from each side get in now. They're 5-7. They're right on the doorstep when you look at it when it comes to, wild card, all 33 of the wild card spots that are up this year. But it has been one of the coolest stories. The NFL, you always have underdog stories. We're watching one right now with Brock Purdy. We've seen it with Geno Smith. And now watching the Lions, who you remember, you look at that roster defensively. It's not like it's crawling with a ton of talent out there. They are finding ways to win. But Jared Goff, the gumball smuggler, I'll say it every week. Professor Gauze, that's what he looks like. He always looks like he just got done having his wisdom teeth taken out on both sides of the bottom. But the Lions, right, you talk about a team that's playing together and a team that looks like they're having fun. But you get Jameson Williams back, who, by the way, welcome to the NFL. Nobody covers you on your first catch for a touchdown. You got him. Amon-Ra, I'm still looking around like, why did y'all trade T.J. Hawkinson?
Mm-hmm.
What in God's name were y'all thinking? You had given up on the season, basically. You imagine add him to Swift. I know Swift didn't do a ton yesterday. Jamal Williams didn't do a ton yesterday. But the Lions have weapons on offense. If that defense can they're going to play hard. Okay, I like, Anzalone and Aiden Hutchinson and some of the guys they got on there. It's not the deepest, but I tell you what, man, I just like the Lions. I grew up in the state of Alabama, right? Father played for the Packers and the Oilers. Kind of a Packers. I never really attached myself to an NFL team and really rooted for that. Dan Campbell really makes me want to root for the Lions. Really makes me want to root for the Lions. Because, I mean, you talk about playing together. You watch their side. Watch the Lions sideline. Like, in the NFL, typically everybody's just sitting over there, just, whatever, yay, high five sometimes. That sideline's like a college sideline. My worst, man, Tennessee Titans. Man. And look, here's what I want to say. I've watched basically every Titans game. So yesterday I tweeted out, at what point, and I know it's not just on Ryan Tannehill, the left side of the offensive line is awful for the Titans. They're awful. Even though Derrick Henry, I know he only averaged like 2.5 yards a carry, did go for like $130 yesterday. So it's not like nobody's not blocking anybody. But Ryan Tannehill, if you're not going to be able to throw the ball, at least don't turn it over. They're awful turnovers. The second pick he threw when they were up 7, driving to go score, and that would put a little bit of a dagger in the Jags, you just throw it right to the nickel. You just throw it right to him. Receiver's head's not even turned. Ryan Tannehill is so mid, it hurts me. It hurts me. I know, look, Malik Willis came in and threw for like 10 yards the other day. I'm not saying that somebody's going to come in there and turn that offense into the Globetrotters, but just don't turn it over. Ryan Tannehill was a wide receiver that came to the league. He used to be able to run. That dude, now he thinks he's Joe Montana. I'm just going to sit back and like he's Jimmy G or something. You remember when Ryan Tannehill used to run? Mm-hmm. Like when he was a threat to run? When he was a better runner than he was a thrower? That element is totally gone. There needs to be a change in Tennessee. You fired the GM, think that was a smart move. You're in a terrible division. You still may make the playoffs, but you are going to do nothing with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback except waste Derrick Henry's career and what should be a pretty good defense, but it's really not looking like that lately, even though the Titans put them in horrible situations on the regular. Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans right now, just absolutely disgusting. I can't bet on you anymore. I can't bet on you anymore.
I heard what you're saying on Tannehill, but to give up 36 to the Jacksonville
that's awful.
Defense, that was the worst part to me.
Yeah,
the Titans defense.
That's not wrong, but just watch it. It's every week. It's every week with this cat.
I do want to go back to the Lions for a second, though, because I love what you're saying, and the best thing they have going for them is they're in the NFC. They're in the NFC. I mean, if they can squeeze into that wild card spot there, and you have to get in a shootout with one of those AFC teams against Patrick Mahomes or against Josh Allen or even Joe Burrow, you don't like your chances so much. But in the NFC, we've seen what Tom Brady's been able to do this season. Not much. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, probably not making the playoffs. We got an excellent San Francisco 49ers team right now with their starting quarterback out, and I'm about to get to Brock Purdy and everything that he's capable of doing. And you look at the Eagles, clearly world beaters, right? But in your own division, you just beat the team that's leading the NFC North in the Vikings. If you can, and the rest of the schedule here, hold on, I have it right here. The rest of the schedule is at Jets, at Panthers. Okay, at Jets, at Panthers. Then you have the Bears at home, and then at the Packers. Even if they go 2-2 there, that would be 8-9, an 8-9 record. There's a shot. There's a shot in the NFC.
If they go 3-1, if they can go 3, Bears are out of the playoffs. The Bears are eliminated. The Texans are eliminated. The only team that's clinched one is Philadelphia. Obviously, they're 12-1. But looking at that, man, if you could get that one against the Packers on the road, if you could be 9-8, you're getting in. You're getting in. Mm-hmm. In the NFC, you're getting in.
In the NFC, I think so. I think so, especially when you're looking across at the Giants and Jets. And that's why that at the Jets is such a huge game, because you're looking at a situation where the Eagles obviously have the NFC East. I don't want to say locked up. Dallas is still 10-3, but one of those teams is going to win the division, and then you're going to have a wild card spot or possibly 2 come from that division because the NFC East is so good. So I don't know. If you can get Detroit in at a wild card spot there and just have this elite offense try and get into a shootout with one of these teams.
You don't want to see them.
You don't.
You really they're one of those. They're like one. It's like playing like Furman or somebody in the first round of the NCAA tournament, or like Wofford. Like you're just looking at these guys, you're like, I don't want to play these guys. They're gonna shoot 50 threes. They may make a third of them, but that's all they need to make. It's just one of those teams that you really don't want to see. But what's your best and worst NFL?
So best, I do want to go to the 49ers.
Yes.
Brock Purdy, 16 for 21, two TDs, stepped in like he was born to do it. And you know what? The offensive play calling, you knew that Kyle Shanahan wasn't shying away from Brock Purdy in the moment because the entire playbook was there for him. I think the team rushed for 209. This moves them to 9-4. Look, I have confidence that Brock Purdy, in one of those playoff games like we just talked about, can go in there and steal some wins with the weapons around him. Now, Deebo Samuel, what is the status of his injury?
He hurt his ankle. I think he's going to be able to come back for the playoffs. I don't know if he's going to be able to come back for the rest of the Thought it was a knee at first. I mean, they carted him off like he ripped his leg off.
Yeah, they said he avoided a major injury, so, which is good.
Even more to the point, on the Lions squeaking into one of those playoff spots. You'd either be facing a San Francisco 49ers team with a Brock Purdy and without probably Deebo Samuel, or an Eagles team that has proven to be nearly unbeatable this season, but with Jalen Hurts, and we haven't seen this experiment play out in the playoffs, or a Cowboys team with Dak Prescott at the helm. Again, the same thing. Has it been proven in the playoffs? So, I don't know. I think the NFC is sort of up.
Man, I'm going to tell you right now about this Brock Purdy guy, and I know it's easy to jump on bandwagons and jump on trains, and we see quarterbacks come in, and it's almost like Major League Baseball pitchers that come up there, and the first few starts, nobody's seen them at that level. The book's not out on them yet, and they do well, and then they kind of struggle a little bit. But when I watch Brock Purdy, we talk about, we hear the term moxie, right? Or the guy has it, or he has the X factor. I feel like it's hard to explain. You just see it, and number one, the way he handles himself. From the minute he got in there and took that first snap, not only does it look like he belongs by the way he plays, it looks like he thinks he belongs. Mm-hmm. Like, just look at the way he's talking to the official before the game, going out there and making throws. The throw he stood in there and made to McCaffrey yesterday for the touch. This guy is making high-level throws, and he can run. I remember watching this guy at Iowa State. He makes some crazy plays every now and then, like bad plays. Why would you do that? But he always found a way to keep the play alive, and his running ability is just good enough. And if he can keep operating at this pace with the weapons he has around him and playing smart and knowing when to throw the ball away and knowing when to take off and making good decisions in the red zone, I'm looking at him compared to Trey Lance like you may have gone from Mr. Irrelevant to the most relevant thing going on in the 49ers. What happens if this 49ers team, with that defense now, with DeMeco Ryans and Fred Warner and Bosa and all those monsters they got running around that defense, what happens if they go all the way to the NFC Championship game like Jimmy G took them, and you could trade Jimmy G, open up space, get another player, and Trey Lance coming off an injury, and have Trey Lance and Brock Purdy battle it out, and then the one who, and Brock Purdy who's gotten trade value, somebody will take a shot on him. Somebody take a shot on Brock Purdy, or Trey Lance gets moved, and you're able to get. I'm telling you right now, if you're the Niners, just from an organizational, salary standpoint, yeah, you went and got Christian McCaffrey, and you spent money here and there. But man, you talk about going down to the save a lot and saving a lot.
Probably not letting go of Jimmy G. Probably not doing that. I'd rather keep Jimmy G and Brock Purdy than Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. That's for sure. This 49ers team kind of reminds me of Georgia from last year. If we're going to talk about this 49ers team, the main thing we need to talk about is defense.
Yeah.
They're giving up the least points in the league, and it's not really that close. From D-line to linebacker to secondary, they're the best fit team on defense in the NFL. Brock Purdy kind of reminds me of Stetson last year. Just don't lose us the game. We have all the weapons, running backs, wide receivers. We're good up front. Our defense is amazing. Just stay within the offense and don't lose us the game. I still think Brock's going to run into some trouble in the playoffs, obviously. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Brock so far, but I need to see more. I need to see more before I'm just going to sit here and say, he's the next best thing since.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
But this defense is the most important thing on this 49ers team. If this defense can keep playing like that, because let's not sit here and act like against the Bucs. It was an absolute domination. Tom Brady and them are lucky to get a yard against these guys. It was an absolute just abomination from the start. So 49ers defense is when you change.
No doubt, no doubt. My worst is Tua and the Dolphins. You know, Tua 10 for 28. Back-to-back weeks now they've been on the road against California. Again, to your point, that 49ers defense is so great. I was disappointed to see that Miami Dolphins offense, as elite as they can be, didn't have more success against the 49ers last week. But this Chargers defense, we've been talking about them. They have all the pieces, but they're not on the same level as the 49ers. Tua still goes 10 for 28. The team rushed for under 100 yards, rushed for 33
Derwin
yards.
James didn't play.
This team rushed for 33 yards last week against the 49ers. It's not good.
No, it's look, they tested that backup safety on the first play with Tyreek Hill, and he knocked the ball away. They ran kind of that delayed wheel with him because they knew Derwin James wasn't playing. And you would think, okay, with this wide receiver core, there's no, like I said before the year, and even when it was going good, there's no excuses for Tua anymore. There's no excuses. There's not, I don't have the players. He was awful in the first half last week. Awful. Wasn't much better in the second half, but was awful in the first half last week. He was bad this whole game. But if you look, with the Tua's style is anticipatory throws where he makes up a little bit of a lack of arm strength with timing. Like if you watch Tua's balls probably float more than anybody else in the NFL. The way I compare him, because you know I like analogies with other sports, is like a Jamie Moyer or a Tom Glavine in baseball. He's not going out there throwing 95 or 100. He's going to go out there, he's going to pump 88 to 91, somewhere around there, but he's going to hit his spots. He's going to hit his spots, and he's going to keep you off balance. How do you keep a DB off balance? You anticipate. You put the ball where it's supposed to be earlier than the timing typically allows in the NFL or when it's typically thrown. That's how you kind of pitch backwards mid-play if you're a guy like Tua. When that timing is off and that anticipation is off, especially over the middle, balls look horribly overthrown, underthrown, the timing looks terrible, and it leads to turnovers because the ball hangs in the air longer. It's like hanging a curveball. The longer it hangs, the longer I have to look at it. I'm going to smash that son of a gun out of the stadium. So when Tua's off, it's way off. Yeah. It's not an aim small, miss small, Mel Gibson Patriot style. And that's why so many of those short passes were working so well early in the season because people really weren't pressed up on people because they're scared to death of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle down the field, which they said, but where's Mike Gesicki? Where's your tight end? This guy disappeared, skedaddled a couple times, then skedaddled on into the shadows.
Skedaddled.
I thought the Chargers did a great job. You kind of see this last 2 weeks of taking the middle way of the field. The middle of the field away, if you take that away, you have a chance. They're starting a too-high shell. They'll roll that safety down. They'll lurk that guy in the middle of the field. Where has the Dolphins been dominating all year? In the middle of the field. That's where they are. They get their motion. It's all timing with Tua, like you said. Tyreek a little banged up with that ankle. Jalen Waddle got a little banged up earlier with that ankle. Jeff Wilson now out at running back. Things are starting to kind of be a little bit shaky for that Dolphins team.
Don't let the Chargers get in the playoffs.
If the Chargers are healthy.
Look, that was who I picked to win the Super Bowl this year.
Justin Herbert's just smooth as candy.
You talk about when projections go right, Justin Herbert happens. When you project right, going from college to the end, they saw the tools. Justin never really put it all together at Oregon. But, man, I tell you what, you get him in that building where it's just football. He doesn't like social media, doing any of that stuff. I'm telling you, the dude's just about.
Oh, boy, what's his name? Call him a social media
Called him a social media. Was it Acho?
Yeah, it was Acho. He's really not that good. He's a social media quarterback. He has the most passing yards the first 3 years of any quarterback.
Yeah, and he, never is on social media. He, tells them not. But, again, if whatever Acho or, RJ Young or some of those guys say, I just take the opposite, and it's always right.
And you're good.
Well, yeah, I think this is the first time Keenan Allen and Mike Williams played a full game together all year.
And Mike Williams is still beat up. What do you got best and worst?
My best and worst, I'm starting my best, man. It's Jalen Hurts. I mean, this kid week in, week out right now, I think
MVP.
He's the MVP of the NFL.
He is the
MVP. What is he not? I mean, he's doing everything right. I love the system they're in. He's also running the ball. He had 80 yards, I believe, against the Giants. Threw for 200-plus QBR out this world like it always 90-plus. So right now, Jalen Hurts, keep doing it, bro. I was one of the guys who doubted you last year. I still think he's had the highest jump from last year to this year. And my worst, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. So a lot of things when it comes to a coach that'll piss you off. Not lining up correctly, not communicating. The one thing that pissed off the coach the most is effort. Yeah. And the effort was lacking against the 49ers. Y'all only didn't get beat. Y'all got drugged. They came in your house, they opened your fridge, made a sandwich, told your wife to give you the remote, I'm going to watch what I want to watch, and you did nothing. You gave up 200 yards in the passing game. You gave up 200 yards in the rushing game. The 49ers could have beat y'all by 70 if they wanted.
Yeah, and you know the thing about Tom Brady, I'll say when Tom Brady is done, because I think he's going to be able to throw a good ball for a while. I don't see that slowing down. It's when the rest of the team does not elevate their play when he's on the roster.
Sure.
That's when I think it is officially done. And the more I look at this Bucs team, that would be the biggest warning sign for Tom Brady for me. It's not him throwing the ball. Tom Brady can still throw the ball. I mean, hell, does the check down half the time. His football IQ is still really, really high. You still got Mike Evans. You still got Godwin. I mean, you got touchdowns called back. You got Leonard Fournette. Rashad White's a star. I'm telling you guys right now. Rashad White at running back is going to be a star. Out of the backfield, I don't know if it's going to be at Tampa Bay. That dude's going to blow up somewhere. It's going to happen. He's going to get paid. But the biggest worry I have about Tom Brady is the motivation factor, because typically guys elevate their games around him.
Let me ask you this. Are we crazy to talk about the possibility? We just mentioned Jimmy G and Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. Or is it crazy to think that Tom Brady, a Northern California kid who grew up a San Francisco 49ers fan, grew up loving Joe Montana, going to the games, watching them win Super Bowls, that he could finish his career 1 year, maybe a season or two at the 49ers, who already have everything that an older Tom Brady needs? You just talked about it. Elite defense, weapons at every single position on offense, but a question mark at the quarterback position moving forward with injuries and with, guys who are unproven. Is that possible?
I definitely think it's possible, especially if the 49ers don't win it this year or get to kind of where they've been in that ceiling with Jimmy G or whoever it is, and they fall off. But I just don't see how Tom Brady doesn't retire a Patriot. I just don't. I would think.
Well, he can go back for one day. After
I think the question really is how much longer. I know that's always been the question on Tom. I mean, how much longer, man? Like how much for real? Like how much longer? I mean, you got to be in one of those things where you sit in the step, where you sit on the seat and it takes you up the steps.
I do not see him retiring after this year. I really don't. I don't think you go through all that stuff with your family just to retire.
I hope not.
I think he comes back next year. I would want him to see him on a different team, to be honest. I mean, that team, I don't know. I think it depends on how Brock Purdy does in the playoffs. I mean, if he does well, I think they keep Brock. And I would think, in my opinion, it depends on what's happening around the league. What's Aaron Rodgers doing?
Yeah.
All
See,
right.
That's the one.
What like Raiders, you making the playoffs?
Sneaky.
Raiders, you don't make the playoffs? So you don't make the playoffs through the Raiders. And Derek Carr, I'm going to be honest. Can Derek Carr really take you to the promised land? I know a guy who can. All right? Hey, Tom, come on down.
Come on down to Oakland, Tom. Or Las Vegas.
Tom and Devontae Adams, please.
There was already talk of that when John Gruden was there, right?
Yeah.
Like the way we were hearing it was a done deal.
Yeah.
That's what Gronk said.
So I wouldn't be surprised by anything nowadays.
Well, if you want to play long, you want to stay athletic. What's one great way to stay athletic? Take Athletic Greens, man. You take it every day. That's why you're sculpted like a Greek god. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Yeah, we got it like that. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Crane and Company. That's athleticgreens.com/Crane and Company to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Gut health, nervous system, won't be nervous about it anymore. Immune system, energy, recovery, focus, aging. Basically,
Cobras.
You want to be Tom Brady? There you go. You're welcome.
David Michigan takes it too.
David Michigan, I already takes it 3 times a day.
Does he?
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Can you confirm it or not?
That's why he's better than me. Got to get on that.
I always love when you deflect. All right, let's go to the Booster Club before we get back to best and worst of college.
All right, the man with 2 first names, Brad David, a $5 donation.
You love to see it.
As a player, did you prefer playing on real grass or artificial turf? God, I love playing on turf.
Grass.
I did too.
I love
too.
playing on turf, man.
Now, for running backs and for people for injury, like if we want to go all natural grass, I can get behind it. That's fine.
If you were undersized,
I love turf.
Cutting-wise receiver, like cutting, getting in and out of routes.
The field's level.
Oh, it's the best.
You were going against a guy.
And it really doesn't hurt
If
that
you were
bad
going against a guy that was bigger than you, it's easy for him to slip and get maneuvered on grass.
I love the consistency.
DJ Fluker, good. I had to
all right, Greg Hart.
For
another $2 donation. He says, Lions damn near beat the Eagles. They did.
I know.
They did. I mean, Jared Goff playing one of the best in the league. All right, Spy Guy 024, $20 donation.
Appreciate it, brother.
Morning, guys. Morning to you. Today's my birthday, and I would love a happy birthday from my favorite podcast host. My girlfriend got me the Daily Wire bat, so how can I get that shipped and get that signed by you guys? Cone, is it your B-Day tomorrow? Hashtag almost B-Day buds.
Almost B-Day buds. Who is this?
Spy Guy 024.
Spy Guy.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, bud.
Happy
One
birthday.
day apart.
First off, what a clutch gift.
He got the Daily Wire bat, boys.
He got the bat.
You know what? Ship it up here. We'll get it signed.
Yeah, ship it up here. We'll sign it.
Let's hit us up on social media. We need to get.
But be careful. Things that get shipped up here.
Yeah, we need to get the details.
Limbo. So let's make sure we get it right.
Make sure you yodel right at the door. Shout out Beer Fest.
Also, anyone else who wants a Daily Wire bat, they're having the sale right now.
Ooh, you need to go get some Crane Company merch, by the way. Go to Daily Wire Originals.
Let's go to Travis. What's up, Travi? Hashtag Ask Crane & Co. How would you rank these top 4 teams in the NFC? San Fran, Dallas, Minnesota, and Philly.
Give me Philly. Give me San Fran. Give me Dallas. Give me Minnesota.
That's the exact order I would have.
Give me Philly. Give me Dallas.
Man, the Vikings are fraudulent, man.
Minnesota.
Okay.
The Vikings defense, you see that giving up over 400 yards in the
last
last 4 games without a turnover?
In the league.
Without forcing a turnover?
You know how long it's been since a 9-win team it was a underdog to a 5-win team?
Yeah.
And lost?
Yeah.
I took them.
They're fraudulent.
I was the sucker.
All right.
I was the sucker who took them.
Look, you're not a sucker.
I'm done believing. I believe in Justin Jefferson. I hate it for him. How many did he have yesterday?
How do you have 1,000
Did he have 215 yesterday?
He had like 230 and no touchdown.
Set the Vikings franchise record for receiving yards?
All right, let's go to, yes, I believe so. Let's go to the Bro Council, a.k.a. the Council of Bros.
Bro Council.
Good morning, guys. I want to ask you if the Giants still have a chance to make the playoffs. And if we don't, what do you think we need for the offseason? And there's a chance that we move one from DJ. I do think the Giants have a chance to make the playoffs. What are you, 7-4, 7-5?
Yeah,
they 7-5-1.
They're in the hunt for sure.
You got you got to kind of start finding that magic a little bit. I know the Eagles are a buzzsaw right now, but man, they went to your house in a huge division game and just pulled your pants down in front of everybody and pointed and laughed and said, "Look at that! Look at that!"
So right now you're 4th in the NFC East. I mean, if you're the Giants right now, who are you looking at? The Commanders?
They're 1-4-1.
If you can't get past, look, I know the Commanders getting Chase Young back too, though. I mean,
and here's what
Taylor
the Giants
Heineke?
have left.
What?
The Giants left on the road at Washington, on the road at Vikings. You get the Colts at home, and then you end on the road at Philly.
That's 1-3 if I've ever seen it before in my life.
And you're already 1-4-1 in your last 6.
It's, again, we're going to have to see what goes on in the periphery. Obviously, you got a shot. Daniel Jones, this is going to be one of the biggest questions of the offseason. Because if you're going to give him a contract, you're going all in with him. Like, this isn't a mess around, dangle it in front of you for another year. Here, we're going to pick up the 6-year option, whatever. You either decide Daniel Jones is going to be the guy or he's not going to be the guy. Because if you're ever going to trade him or move him, this is the year to do it. But the one that's killing y'all is Kenny Golladay. That's the contract that's absolutely murdering y'all, and you're getting nothing out of it. Nobody's going to eat that. I don't know how there's ways, I'm sure, to manipulate it, but Kenny Galladay's killing you right now.
Brian Daboll's such a great coach.
Brian Daboll's a great coach. All right, best and worst of college. My best, the Army-Navy game. Just in general, absolutely love watching that game. Was a hell of a game. The block punt was huge for Army. The game ended up going into overtime for the first time ever. First time ever. And Army ended up winning 20-17, and it hit the over hit, obviously, because it went to overtime. If it didn't go into overtime, the over would not have hit. Just the pageantry. Absolutely love watching that game. The uniforms were absolutely smoke. The Army ones were awesome. Love the NASA ones from Navy, but the Army ones and Coach Ken Niumatalolo out at Navy now. Unbelievable career, a guy that did things right. I do think it was time for a change, but this was not a failure by any stretch of the imagination. He did some really good things for Navy. Interesting seeing them in a conference and the other ones not. Then my worst is obviously with the Mike Leach news of him going to the hospital last night. I'm not 100% sure on what the diagnosis is. All I know is it's not looking good. We've got to interview Mike Leach multiple times on this show. Great football mind, one of the guys that came up with the air raid with Hal Mummy at Iowa Wesleyan. But if you've ever got to talk to this man or met this man in person, you find out really what a genuinely nice and people-loving person that he is. And he's quirky and funny and has funny sound bites. But this is a guy that really cares about people. He's affected a ton of people, a great family man, a guy that's been unbelievably courteous to us with his time anytime we've asked. And obviously we're sending our prayers to him and his family and the Mississippi State family as well. Just a sad situation. And you know what? Hopefully there's a happy ending. I like to stay positive. I like to be optimistic. But just a great human being, man. I don't know what else to say.
A national treasure.
Love you, Coach.
A national treasure. We're pulling for you, Coach. Pull through. Latest report, still in critical condition right now as of 45 minutes ago. So I'm going to keep tracking this on here
Appreciate
in case
that.
anything breaks. Look, my best, we're going to get to this in a little bit, break it down in our college basketball shoot-around. But Alabama Crimson Tide coming from down 12 to beat the number 1 team, Houston, 71-65. The first college basketball team to beat 2 number 1s before January 1st since 1967 because they beat North Carolina a couple
We're
of weeks
going to
ago.
get into that there.
Obviously, they got Gonzaga coming up. Alabama's got a tough schedule, and that was for real. And then also Penn State beating Illinois, I thought was a huge win.
Beat the hell out of them.
But yeah, college basketball is heating up. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You got a worst?
How about I'll do Illinois losing to Penn State?
There you go.
Nice.
My best, Caleb Williams. Congrats, brother. You deserve to win the Heisman with the year that you have. You put up the numbers. You made a lot of teammates better around you, and that's half the battle with the Heisman. But, man, well-deserved. He's going to be an absolute star one day. And my also worst, Hendon Hooker and Blake Corum should have been at the Heisman.
They definitely.
They should have been at the Heisman. It just doesn't sit right with me. Deep within my soul, it just doesn't feel right. I don't care. They tore both their ACLs. Those guys played a good enough season to sit at the Heisman and be talked about and be one of those finalists. So
Yeah, I thought it was cool to see the Caleb Williams connection with the Navy player, John Marshall. Did you see that? They played, the John Marshall guy played wide receiver in high school as well on Caleb's team, and they threw a Hail Mary to win the state championship that he caught. One of them went to Navy, other went to USC, obviously doing their thing. Caleb's got an absolute rifle. He did deserve to win it, in my opinion. And I think this race was as close as it's been in a while. Some people tried to make it seem like there was this huge gap. I don't think there was a huge gap. I think it was a little bit closer than what people thought. It was interesting to see Stetson finish third. I thought Stetson for sure.
Was that official? Because I saw a
official.
conflicting report.
I believe it was official. Fact check me on that if I'm wrong. But Caleb's got an absolute rifle, and we've got absolute rifles up here. That's Black Rifle Coffee. What do you got under there, Ken?
Oh, what do I have today?
What
do I have
flavor?
today? What do you boys want? I got Gunship.
Gunship.
Here.
There it is.
Gunship for you.
Wake up in the morning.
What do I got here?
Hop out the bed like I'm possessed.
Lava Panther.
Lava
for you.
Panthers. 100% of the time, it's delicious. 100% of the time.
Power Llama. With Power Llama.
Good. You don't want this soft llama. You need to go to blackriflecoffee.com. And guess what our promo code is? That's right. It's Booster. You sense a theme or a pattern here, and you get 10% off coffee gear, apparel, or when you sign up for the new Coffee Club subscription, if you're cool enough, that is. That's blackriflecoffee.com with our promo code Booster. Get that 10% off. It's Black Rifle Coffee, supporting veterans and America's coffee and making you more juice to get to work and get things done as well. All right, Booster Club.
Yes. First thing, everyone yell at Justine for not putting any Christmas things on the set yet.
Yes,
Let her know.
we got to be
Yell at her.
Wait, wait.
Boost it what?
Wait. Reed wanted me to say something today about Christmas decorations.
Hit us.
Something about Christmas Reed, say it in the chat. You asked me to mention it. I told you I'd tell him before the show. Surprise, I'm doing it live on the show. Tell me in the chat what it was.
All right, Sweet Baby Blaine. Love that name. Good morning, y'all from Kuwait.
What?
Shout out to my boys from West Point for taking care of business on Saturday and sinking Navy. Love.
Yeah,
You know,
appreciate your service, man.
Navy, if you're not going to come back to win the game,
Just
don't
don't
score in
overhit.
overtime and mess the under up.
Like you run the wheel route that's always open, the hide on the wheel. I knew it. I knew when Army just fluked their way in on that first play for a touchdown. I was like, here we go. Navy will score. They'll score for sure. Because it was at, what, 27 at that point?
I have so much fun watching that game.
I do too.
And he's in here from Kuwait?
Yes, sir.
Wow, man. Hats off to you, sir.
wait for
Thanks for your
Steve-
service.
Steve Alicia, 8609, says, Go Army, 23-year U.S. Army veteran.
Nice. Appreciate
yeah,
Thank you for
man.
your
Appreciate
service, too, man.
All right, Jordan A. Raider 4L. I've seen you in here. What's up, Jordan? Unpopular opinion. Derek Carr is better than Kirk Cousins. Cousins have been in a better organizational situation. What's our thoughts?
They're the Spider-Man gift.
I mean, if we're going to start talking about the difference between Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr, I mean, I don't think there's, and I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think there's a certain amount of the people hate Kirk Cousins. There's a few things I've learned in the sports business since we started doing a show a couple years ago. One, you're going to piss half the people off regardless what you say. And two, everybody hates Kirk Cousins. That's the second thing. I don't even know if Kirk Cousins' mother likes Kirk Cousins. At this point,
she not?
I don't know. Sandy Cousins?
Don't bring Kirk Cousins' mother.
I'm saying Sandy Cousins. I don't know if her name.
I bet Kirk Cousins' mother is the nicest.
I bet there's no way in hell that he ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with the crust. No way.
No way.
Oh,
no way.
Cutting the crust off?
Oh, she was cutting the crust, probably in perfect triangles. But that's neither here nor there. But when I look at the Raiders, look, the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, you drafted well. That was a great choice. Adam Thielen, okay, he's a good sidekick. He'll always be Robin.
One, two.
Never be Batman. Dalvin Cook, still doing it. Can absolutely cook it up. The offensive line's good. It's good. But let's not act like Derek Carr has nothing. I mean, Devontae Adams, pretty good. Waller, I know he's been hurt.
Well, Devontae just got there.
Yeah, Devontae did just get there, but he's still been there. Josh Jacobs has been a stud. I mean, it's not like the Raiders don't. Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins just always seem to screw it up half the time and play well the other half. Kirk Cousins threw for 425 yards yesterday, guys. It's not act like he just turned around and handed the ball off.
The Raiders, look, don't get mad at me for saying this, but Raiders just remind me a lot of Auburn. They're gonna mess it up.
But they never win it.
True. Well, they have won it before, but they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to mess it up. They do. Like, you got to think what they've been. How many halftime, second half leads have they?
They're 0-4. 0-4 when leading after half. Nobody's been that bad since 1930. But before we even in World War II, that's how bad it was. But all right, one more. Then we got to get to our college basketball.
JJ said it was funny watching Williams win the Heisman, look at the other guys and say, you guys enjoy the college football playoff. Guess you can't win them all. Felt underwhelming watching the Heisman.
I feel like we should, there's a better way to do it. I feel like there's a cooler way to give out the Heisman. I feel like it's too Oscars-y. You know, I feel like that's not college football to me. Like, if you're handing out the, Walter Payton Man of the Year award or something like that, I get it. But the Heisman, man, shouldn't it be at this big sports bar,
it should be at somebody's birthday party when there's a Low Country boil and you got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It needs to just be cool. Like, hey, man, look, Caleb Williams, you won the Heisman. Here, try and throw this horseshoe in this thing.
I think you should have to fight it out.
Just fight it out for the Heisman?
Yeah, I think so. Let's go ahead and before we switch off here, Reed says, my idea was that during the week of Christmas, 12/19 and 12/23, all donations made on the show goes towards Toys for Tots.
Not a bad idea.
Reed's in here.
I like that.
Great game.
Either that or some veteran.
Well, Well, how about we get some Christmas stuff on the set, too?
Oh, yeah. Jesse said, all right, guys, now I may not decorate at all. Yeah, we'll see about that.
No, there's going to be some decorations.
I
want it to look like somebody dropped a Christmas bomb in here. I want a reindeer coming out of the thing. I want one of those dancing Santas that I can just press right here and laugh and make giggles at. I want all type of stuff. Structural, delicious, festive.
All right, Garrett Frank says, Duggan wins O'Brien for best quarterback, but loses the Heisman to a quarterback.
None of it makes sense.
Award systems cattywampus.
Yeah,
that happens a lot.
I know. But don't try and make it make sense, because it doesn't. If you're gonna try and make that make sense, explain to me how in the hell Auburn is in the West and Alabama's in the West and Missouri's in the East. Oh yeah, hold on. What does he say on Arrested Development? She's like, yeah, we sent him to school to be like a cartologist on maps. And he's like, what's the blue part on the map?
Is that
water. Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Is it?
Oh, Cone.
I hear good things.
Cone, you will laugh. Jason Bateman is a genius.
Is it as good as The Office?
I think it's as funny as Office.
And
it's like that kind of humor too. Huh?
How about Parks and Rec?
It's funny in Parks and Rec. I think Parks and Rec.
I never watched Parks and Rec.
I think Parks and Rec's overrated. But no, Job, who's played by Will Arnett. Oh, dude, you got to watch it. You'll geek. There's money. Just never forget this. There's always money in the banana stand. Don't forget that. All right, let's go to college basketball shoot around.
That's good to know. All right, just like we just talked about, Alabama beats Houston. They were down 12. We had turned this game off. They come all the way back, beat number one Houston 71-65. Your thoughts?
Here's my thing on Alabama. Everybody's talking about, Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller's the beast. He's really good. He's going to carry Bama. Well, that's not what makes this Bama team dangerous.
He didn't make a field goal in this game.
What makes this Bama team dangerous is they have depth and they're balanced. I can't remember the last time they turned the ball over. If they play clean with Sears and Clowney. Bediako's gained weight. His hands are stronger. We know Brandon Miller can get hot at any point in time and drop a 30-piece with some honey biscuits and waffle fries on the side. You look at this team, Sears as well. This team is scary. Like, this isn't Javon Quinterly and Shackelford got to hit 15 threes apiece, and Bediako's going to fumble the ball 6 times under the basket, but also make a couple good plays. This team is as deep as I've seen with Nate Oates, and they have multiple guys that can beat you. This is not a one-man show. This is not a one-man circus, and they seemed as organized as I've watched them. Typically, Alabama's what? Up and down, shooting threes, balls to the basket. I mean, you got guys that can hit mid-range. You got guys that can drive and kick. I mean, the Bradley kid, I think he can really play, and they're young. They're 3 freshmen. Played really, really, really well against Houston, and you're watching. They got Gonzaga next. They're better than Gonzaga. They beat Gonzaga on the road last year. This Alabama team could potentially be fighting for a number 1 seed. Now, does that mean Nate Oates won't blow it come NCAA tournament time? I don't know. The man's got a lot of Rick Barnes in him from what I can see. But this Alabama team is as dangerous or more dangerous than any Alabama team I've seen in a while. More dangerous than any team I've seen when a guy whose last name is Petway's not playing.
And in this comeback, Brandon Miller, who you're talking about, was 0 for 8 from the floor.
That if you're an Alabama fan, that should bring you the most.
That is unbelievable. He did have 8 points off free throws, so he was 8 for 9 from the stripe. But Clowney had 16. Sears had 11. Bradley, who you're talking about, had 12.
First team with multiple wins over AP number 1 before the new year since Duke in 1965.
Yeah, they ain't playing around.
Oh, I said 67, 65.
Yeah, they aren't playing around. It's just, again, basketball's funny. It's a fickle sport. It can change in a minute. But if Alabama, they're not playing their best basketball either. And that's if I'm out. And it shows you how good UConn is. UConn's win national championship good. The only team that beat Bama, it's not just Sanogo anymore, where he just got to go, or they're going to lose. This UConn team is nice, and they beat Bama. I'm telling you guys right now, we're in for a hell. I guess some people thought maybe we were just doing college football and football in general. We're going to take a break. Hell no. We're going straight into recruiting, college basketball, NFL, NBA, NHL, Quidditch, hopscotch, underwater basket weaving, and whatever's going on in the cul-de-sac nearest you. So get ready for college basketball.
Arizona whipped up on Indiana.
Man, I tell you.
89-75.
You know, I thought losing Matherin, who's in the NBA right now, would, and it has had an effect on Arizona. But man, if Tabellis and Ballo and those guys don't just play the exact same way, and I feel like everybody can shoot. I feel like everybody from Arizona at any point in time can score 20 to 25 points. Kirk Reese, I mean, they've literally got depth on that team. I know it's like a NATO meeting. You've got somebody from a different country, how they communicate without just, I just teach them all sign language and we go from there. But this Arizona team is as good as the one last year, I think. I really think they are. I know it's a different landscape in college basketball, obviously, with the new year. But, man, just watching Arizona, I was surprised that Trace Jackson Davis wasn't more effective. I know Arizona's got length and they can run. That's the thing about Arizona. They all can run, and they all run. But Indiana, to me, they had to play really well to win that game, but Trace Jackson Davis, man, I expected him to get a little bit more. I took Indiana money line on Saturday. They got it within 3, I think 69-66. And then when Arizona turns it on, it's like a faucet. It's like they don't just turn it on and, they scored 4. They go on like 12-2 runs. Like they just, it's fun to watch. Arizona plays a fun brand of basketball.
Mm-hmm. Bunch of Europeans out there playing basketball, man. You got to believe in it.
Got to believe in it.
Got to believe in it. And he does it every year. Arizona, I mean, even with the talent they lost last year, I mean, they play really just good fundamental basketball, man. Mm-hmm. There's not one of those teams when you look at it, it's like, God, we made the extra pass here, extra pass here. They don't care who's on the scoreboard that night, who drops this or drops 20, gets that. They want to win the game. And there's nothing more dangerous than a basketball team who has supreme elite talent and who just want to win games and don't care about themselves. When you run into teams like that, that's teams who run deep in the playoffs or deep in the tournament. Guys who want the other guy to do just as good as they are. Points, assists, this and that, and they're all meshed together. And that's Arizona. They're a better team than Indiana.
Yeah, they were.
Did you guys see Hansel Emmanuel from Northwestern State, the kid with one arm, who scored and threw down a dunk this week?
He dunked too?
He dunked too.
I didn't see that. That's pretty sick.
All right, we're gonna have to pull that.
Yeah, this is the same kid I'm thinking of. Like he's been all.
Yeah, I've seen him in the headlines before or on highlight films. In baseball, we've seen guys with one arm. Right? You've seen pitchers with one arm who throw it and then they're able to transfer the glove. Have never seen a guy in basketball can compete at that level. If you're out there and they know obviously which hand you're dribbling with, and you're still able to maneuver the ball and manipulate the ball, and I know you're probably used to it in the way you can probably position your body to help, but man, that's unbelievably impressive.
Last one here. Did you see Grinnell attempted 111 three-pointers in a game?
I love it. I love it.
I'm trying to think. So you play a 40-minute game.
How many points they score?
They scored 124.
I love it.
They won 124-67 over someone else.
So, yeah, think about it. 111 three-pointers. You play 2 20-minute halves. That means that you are firing up basically 2.5 threes every minute, which means you're just going down there shooting threes.
Okay, so the number eclipsed the 109 three-pointers Troy attempted in a game against DeVry in 1992.
DeVry? I thought that was just like an online universe. Isn't that the one that Larry Fitzgerald went to?
The Trojans won 258 to 141.
I'm telling you.
In 1992.
DeVry?
If you're a team in the tournament, that's not like, you're not going to win, shoot 100 threes.
Yeah,
shoot 100 threes.
All right, so they were 40 of 111, 51.
That's pretty.
Shoot 100 threes. Why wouldn't you?
That's 120 points.
Like, if you're playing against 7-footers and your tallest guy's 6'7", go shoot 100 threes.
Launch. Just
go shoot 100 threes.
Well, I always love looking back. They're like, yeah, y'all remember when, we had Syracuse beat the School of Cordon Bleu, the cooking school, by 300 in 1928? I just always love looking back at the old schools that used to be, like, relevant that now you just never knew existed. Like Clown Shoes State. Y'all remember them? It's a school for clowning.
We know Larry Fitzgerald went
to Pitt. Which Davian Clowney went.
We know Larry went to Pitt, but where did he graduate?
University of Phoenix, right?
It was University.
Or was it DeVry?
It was Phoenix.
I don't know.
I think it was University of Phoenix.
I think it was University of Phoenix.
Too. Arizona Cardinals.
If you're Larry Fitzgerald, do you really go to class though, or do you just sign up and say,
I bet Larry.
Hey, I'm gonna do a commercial. I'm gonna do a commercial for you guys. Just give me that degree. They're like, oh, come here. Here, bring in the Phoenix.
I love it. All right, Tim, you want to go to Booster Club?
Yeah, let's go.
$10 donation from Steve's Action Figure Frenzy.
Yes.
Oh, God. Blaine, do I have to change my name on the Daily Wire so you won't keep screwing it up? Yes. Yes, you do.
Why is this still a thing?
What's happening now?
I don't know. I don't know what his name is on the Daily Wire. Yeah, change it. Help me out. LOL. 23-year-old U.S. Army vet. Is that proof enough to get me on the subscription board?
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about maybe going little whiteboard next to the board of Truth, Justice, and Friendship, brought to you by DraftKings, and having a whiteboard space, because I'm out of space. Look, you can see. Use your eyes, mind and heart. We've got no other space right there. We've really just explored the whole space.
We need a bigger board.
Job. We need a huge board. What if the whole?
We need an LED board.
What if it was just a whole board?
A lot of good ideas
with just a board.
Right?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Let's go to Trevor Sage. He says, is Mac Jones regressing more on poor coaching and scheme? Or are we seeing who he really is? Should Bill relinquish the de facto GM role? He's drafted poorly. We have the second highest paid wide receiver room.
Well, that's the saddest thing ever. You've got Devontae Parker.
Why is Matt Patricia the OC?
It's this.
Why is Matt Patricia?
OC. He's like the director of football.
Even worse.
He's like senior consultant of offensive theory.
Okay, why is he calling plays?
Here's the thing. I think Bill Belichick, ever since Tom Brady left, has just tried to he's like Willy Wonka at the end. Just do the most extreme thing. He just goes in, he's like, well, listen, Matt, you want to be the offensive coordinator? We're not going to call you that. We're going to call you the offensive philosopher, theorist, substitute. You down with that? I think he's trying to do the most. I wouldn't be surprised if you could lick the wallpaper in the tight end room and it tastes like schnozberries or something.
Really?
It's like he's going like all the way to the extreme just to see like maybe what Bill Belichick can get away with. Like I just wonder like if he's going to go a game maybe without saying a word the whole game. Because you just look at him like he just over there like this, just really not talking. Like he makes Dave Aranda look like Kathy Griffin when it comes to talking. Like it is crazy to watch Bill Belichick during the game. But look, Matt Patricia, you got to make a change. You see what oh boy said when watching Matt Patricia's offense for the Cardinals, the defensive coordinator. He was the head coach of the Broncos. Why I can't remember his name. He goes, yeah, you know what it looks like? It looks like a defensive guy who's calling plays.
That's what it is.
He's like, it's a lot of screen passes, a lot of holding on to the ball, 4-yard routes, things. He's like, it looks like what a defensive guy would call plays offensively. And that's what it is with Matt Patricia. But now you've got no weapons. I mean, again, Devontae Parker, who else?
Jacoby Myers, Hunter Henry.
Okay.
We said weapons.
Yeah, I said weapons. Not breathing.
Weapon.
Not if you're still
Hunter Henry,
breathing.
weapon. Ramondre Stevenson, weapon. A healthy Damian Harris, weapon.
Okay.
You run the ball 90% of the time. It don't matter what weapons you have. I don't care if you have a nuclear bomb. You run it 90% of the time.
Because you don't have weapons.
No.
Let's do that tonight,
I don't care.
by the way. Let's do that tonight.
I don't care. You can put Devontae Adams out there. Or put another one. He would run the ball 90% of the time. It don't matter if you put Jesus at X. He's going to run it.
You have
90% of the time.
You have Devontae Adams.
He's always been like that.
Throw that thing up there.
He's always been like that.
It
no matter what weapons they have out there. He's going to run it 90% of the time. That is who he is.
Throw that thing up there.
A lot of 10 personnel. Man, that X is balling. Absolutely balling. All right. Let's one more from the Booster Club, and then we're going to go
to Blair 99. 14 parlay this weekend.
Ooh.
Can someone explain how Carolina can toss their whole team into trade/waivers and still find a way to ruin my day? They ruined my day, too.
What was
Not
the one
them, but both of them. I had the under 49.5, and they just a minute left. No one cares.
Who was it? The Niners?
Panthers.
Seahawks.
I can't believe the Seahawks lost that game.
Me neither.
I can't believe
that. Secured my my 0-6 fate yesterday.
You went 0-6? Saves the golden sombrero.
No, we got to come up with something else.
Did some units.
Golden Sunday.
Some unit plays.
I went 1-5,
come back.
so you're not alone.
You went 1-5 yesterday?
I did, yeah.
All right, well, I feel a little better, but I'm sorry. We can be in misery together, you know. But, man, I was wanting to see
what do we got to call it an Gopher day? What do we call it? The Gopher?
No, I hate that.
You go Gopher? Oh, you hate that?
I want to call it the Golden Sunday.
Because we called the Golden Saturday the Golden Sunday. I don't want to call it the Golden Sombrero, and that's after you strike out 4 times.
Yeah, I know. It's the same realm.
No, I feel like we should go with something. We're creative. We got to come up with something.
We should definitely come up with something super embarrassing moving forward for the next person who does it. Not necessarily this weekend.
I got an idea. I got an idea for the award, but I need to wait till after the sub break.
Okay.
All right. If you want to watch the rest of this, remember you can listen if you stay here. Head over to Daily Wire Plus, become a member, or listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with all your friends. And you may hit a 10-team parlay. But make sure you use DraftKings. We'll be right back. Thanks for coming back. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you're watching on Daily Wire Plus. We appreciate you. And if you're still watching on and listening on YouTube, head over to Daily Wire Plus. Become a member. Be smart. Welcome to it. It's like a circle. It never ends. All right, Cone, rapid fire.
All right. We already talked about Caleb Williams winning the Heisman. Congrats to him. Coach Niumatalolo out at Navy, winning his coach in Navy history.
Yep, hell of a career.
Talked about that. Mike Leach being hospitalized. We talked about that a little bit. Prayers up to him. Oregon State's Jonathan Smith, $30 million contract extension.
I'm telling you, sneaky. They've been sneaky all year. Held USC to 17 points. All right, should have won that game when it comes down to some crazy turnovers in that game for Oregon State, or they could be going for their 11th win and they'd have played in the Pac-12 championship. But if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But Jonathan Smith, I'm telling you guys right now, USC, UCLA, leaving the Pac-12, watch out. There's a vacuum that's going to be created. I know Oregon and Dan Lanning are going to be good. Utah and Kyle Whittingham, he's the most underrated coach in the country. But watch out for the Beavers. Get those buck teeth out, dam this bad boy up, and let's go to war. Look, Corvallis
got your guy. Look, if you believe you got your guy, go in and get him. I love it. I think they got their guy too. 1, your uniforms are fire.
Oh, the uniforms are so fire.
You play stingy defense. I love watching teams play stingy defense, and that's what Oregon State is. You get the offense figured out a little bit more, they're going to be a problem in the Pac-12. One of those teams like we talked to, you do not want to go play at their place.
No.
You do not want to go. It's just different out there. The air's different. The people are different. They're probably weirdly nice to you and stuff like that. And you never want to see. I would rather get yelled at, cussed at, and spit on than to go out to a game and people like, hey, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck today, guys.
You know the sound a beaver makes?
What does it mean?
Chipmunk. It's chipmunk.
Do
Follow
it again.
me in
Got to be
Lantern.
real still. Got to be real
make this
Is
still.
that Hannibal Lecter? Or?
No, have you seen that Will Ferrell SNL skit?
I've seen most of it.
What's
Where
his
he's an old
name?
prospector?
He's an old prospector.
Gus Chiggins?
Gus Chiggins,
Yeah.
the old prospector.
Oh, it's so
Hilarious.
funny. If you haven't seen that on old SNL back when it was funny, you ought to go check it out.
All right, next one. Russell Wilson. Look, all the struggles so far this year, and now he has a concussion.
He got knocked out. Knocked out. Look, Russell Wilson, is he goofy? Yes. Does he annoy everybody? Yes. Is he fake? Probably. Or even worse, he's talking about chameleon. Said George is a chameleon. Russell Wilson, I feel like he could go fit in at a Goldman Sachs board meeting. He should also go fit in at one of those underground raves where somebody's figuring out a mystery and has to go question people about a disappearance. But when I watched him get knocked out yesterday, like, Russell Wilson is tough. He is tough. Like, Russell Wilson that takes hits, plays a lot, plays hurt. He was knocked out yesterday.
Yep.
Like, sometimes I don't think they should show the close-up of their face. Like, when you know they got knocked out.
One, they show
Like-
people get knocked out, and stop showing replays of people breaking things.
Yeah, I can't look at it.
Why are we doing this
I
like
can't look at
that?
it.
And a quarterback gets taken out, and the backup comes in, throws a touchdown. They don't pull the camera to the quarterback and just do it. Boom, right
They
to the
go
backup.
right to the
on
backup?
sideline. I get it to a certain extent. I don't want to see guys unconscious, baby armed. I don't want to see that. 2, I don't want to see things broken. I'm squeamish. And 3, we get it. The backup quarterback came in. You don't have to embarrass the starter. He's already embarrassed enough.
Squeamish. I mean, you're for fighting in every single sport
Yeah,
there is, but you don't want to see somebody get knocked out.
No. I love violence, but I don't want to see people like seeing someone get knocked out in fighting is different.
You don't want to see the
No,
consequences
you
of
see-
the idea.
No,
It's very
no.
complicated.
You see somebody
Yeah.
get knocked out in fighting, it's different to me. You're in there fighting, but if you see someone get knocked out in football, it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, well, look,
There's a difference.
Blaine writes with his left hand, throws with his right hand, does God knows what with his right hand. But, I mean, you're like ambidextrous, ambidextrous.
Well, yeah,
can read backwards and forwards.
I write left-handed. I can throw right-handed. I can throw left-handed too.
He's so right-handed better.
Yeah, I throw right-handed. But I can bat both ways in baseball. Let's see what else. When I go bowling, I can't figure out which hand to throw with.
Yeah, it's the weirdest
It
thing
sucks.
ever.
That's why I hate
It's
going
the weirdest
bowling.
thing ever.
I hate it.
It's the weirdest thing.
Interesting.
It's just sometimes it gets in a weird place.
All right, last one. Cristiano Ronaldo. There was a lot of drama at Man U before the World Cup started. He's out there. Now there's a lot of drama with Portugal. May not return to even play for his home country anymore. At what point do we have to say, regardless of him being the greatest soccer player in the world, that he is the problem and he's a distraction?
Look, you got multiple organizations now where you've been the problem. So it's like, what's the common denominator? It's like, when you're at the family gathering and there's a joke that you don't get, it's probably about you. That's probably what it is. And look, Ronaldo's superstar of superstars. You think LeBron's got a lot of fans? Look at how many fans Ronaldo has.
I think Ronaldo's got a lot of fans. Look at the best cricket player.
I know, it's absolutely nuts. But there is still a breaking point or a line where you're either over the hill or past your time, or that your distraction does not equal your talent or it's greater than. Like, we're to that point with Ronaldo. You're not getting any younger, man. You're super duper rich.
World Cup.
Why are you getting upset? You've been dealt a great hand, bro. You've been dealt a great hand. Great looking cat. Great at soccer.
Getting upset how?
Superstar.
Like crying?
Well, no. Like
His last World Cup is
no. This isn't just with Portugal either. Look at where he's at professionally, with what's going on with the organizations he's at. There's been a constant problem lately with Ronaldo, whether it's doing interviews and basically making stuff up, which got knocked down in the media's eye, whatever you want to call it. But Ronaldo, to me, I don't think that Messi. Some crazy stuff off the field with him, with the taxes and stuff like that. But if you look at the amount of distraction Messi is compared to Ronaldo, it's not even close. And Messi's scoring goals.
Soccer is just basically filled with drama every day. You're going to sign Cristiano Ronaldo. You know why? Because it's Cristiano Ronaldo, guys. That's why. Top 3 soccer player ever. You're going to sign him. I don't care if he has 14 wives, does blow, and sells heroin. Guess what? You get on the soccer field, kick him the ball. Good stuff starts to happen.
Does he have 14 wives?
I don't know. Pepe, whatever your name is, how do you not head that in?
Yeah,
I could head that in.
That is true. But
if I'm Ronaldo, I'm destroyed.
This sounds like it's about something else.
You lost to who'd they lose to? Morocco?
Didn't Morocco beat Spain?
or whatever.
Morocco's the
attention to what's
first
Ronaldo,
African country
guys.
to make the semifinal in the World Cup. I did not know that.
Really?
Yeah, that was a cool stat.
I'm looking it up.
Let's think of Morocco.
Like, I'm not a soccer genius, but yeah, because Cristiano's a distraction. Oh, well, he has 17 goals in 5 games. But he got mad in the interview.
17 goals in
Y'all are
5 games.
tripping.
I think Morocco beat Spain. Let's lose my mind. Because Spain's coach got
Or
fired.
Brazil. Who beat Brazil?
I don't know.
Croatia. That's like getting beat by like Vermont.
Yeah.
Beaten.
That's the biggest upset ever. All right, we got a Butch Club here?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Saved by the Claven. Okay. At Blaine, a.k.a. Flamin' Dragon. I will change my image to Team Blaine.
No.
Yes.
No.
If you agreed to the eggnog bet, already agreed to it.
Already agreed to it.
Loved your tweet on Brittany Griner. Appreciate it, brother. Saw it getting spread in the Facebook sports circles. # no beef. Hey,
Like a good vegan, no beef.
go and get that change, big dog.
No,
Come
you
home.
need to go. Look at that orange badge, though.
Texas said, does this mean Blaine has been watching the World Cup? I'm not going to sit here and cap. I've been watching a little bit of it. There's nothing else on that early. I love that. I love that. The Brazil game, I didn't even know they were playing.
On Sundays, I like getting up.
Not on Sundays.
Well, we obviously the Sunday show's coming back next week, but I like getting up, doing the show. Show gets done at 9:30, 9:45. NFL doesn't come on till noon. You know what I like to do? I like to get a cup of coffee and I get my history on. For an hour.
Right.
Sit back, drink the coffee, watch some stuff about World War II, just in my bag for a little bit before, Scott Hansen for 7 hours has me like this.
I'm proud of you.
I
You like that World War stuff. You're all into that. I can't watch it. Let's go to Trevor Sage, $10 donation. Appreciate it, Trevor. Thanks for taking
I don't know where you're going with this, so I'm going to take it as disrespect.
Can I just read the donation?
Watch your mouth.
I'll just read the donation. It says, born baby boy gave me a whole hour and a half of sleep, but bright side,
Nice.
got to participate here for the first time. Love the show. Listen daily. Congrats on the new baby boy.
Man.
Appreciate it, Trevor.
Congrats, man.
Trevor.
Congrats. Tell him we said thanks for keeping you up to watch this. Or did we tell him that already?
Charles Moore.
How much do you know?
Blaine needs to take it up with Ben for credit. Oh, yeah, for crediting the tweet to Jake on Friday at Crane & Company. Look, man, we're all in this together.
Yeah, we are. And listen, as the older brother, I got blamed for everything growing up, so it's nice to see this come around.
Okay.
On a positive side.
As long as it brings people to the show, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Nola P. Croatia made it to the final game last World Cup, and we may
Did they?
Yeah.
reappear They might reappear.
Speaking of Blue Eyes White Dragon, isn't that like Croatia's mascot?
Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's the thing.
The
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Nice, David.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Blaine. You see that over there?
Y'all grown up.
I know my dragons.
Yeah, you love to see it.
Double E says, did y'all go with my fantasy bet idea? The loser wears a Brittany Griner fan shirt on the show. We were kind of thinking about this. We're going to put the loser of the fantasy league, who also has to go to a WNBA game, to a Brittany Griner game.
Yes.
Either a Brittany Griner shirt or a
Russian national.
Russian shirt.
If Walsh has to go to a Brittany Griner WNBA game with a I support Brittany or Brittany's back shirt.
Brittany's back would be great.
Brittany's back.
That would break.
One of my best was going to be Russia, but I didn't do it.
One of your bets is going to be
Going
Russia.
to be Russia, though. I mean, you got to give it up to them. They won the trade.
Oh, they won the trade.
They won the trade by a lot.
What if Matt Walsh goes in a Victor Bout jersey?
Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Matt.
Give him the ball. He's the
Owen Donahue, Ukraine Company. Any early bowl predictions?
man. I still got to find out who's playing and who's not. But I need to know. I have my list. I checked it twice. Found out who's naughty and nice. Here's what I like: South Carolina over Notre Dame. There's one. I like a money line. I think I took them. I went ahead and took them +4.5 or +3.5. Put it on Twitter. It's bookmarked somewhere. I like, obviously I don't want to get into the college football playoff right now. We're going to do our picks on that. I love Florida State against Oklahoma. I think Jordan Travis may run for 10,000 yards in that game. I like Tulane over USC. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I said it. By the way, do you know that Tulane has more top 10 players at their position in the NFL draft projections than USC does?
Really?
They got 3 different players in top 10 at their position. USC has 2. Tulane.
I did not know
linebackers,
that.
Tulane. They got this, I think Dorian Wilson's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you talking about going downhill? Just the dude's like a Mack truck coming downhill. He hit boy from UCF, and I think the dude speaks 3 languages he didn't know going into the game. That's how hard he hit him.
So you're saying South Carolina over Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That's one you have locked in already?
Yeah, I think I got South Carolina plus 3.5. It was going off like plus 3.5, plus 4.5. Drew Pine's transferring. Mayer's not playing.
So we decided we're doing spread, not confidence points.
I thought, well, why don't we just do both? I thought we were going to do
like both. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have our normal show bets, but do we want to do like one of those spread pick'em things that they do on the internet?
Like first bowl game
Does
is
Sleeper have?
First bowl game is December 16th.
Yeah, it's this Saturday.
Yep.
I think it's Troy and is it Troy in Western Kentucky?
You have Troy UTSA is in the Cure Bowl, but you also have the Bahamas Bowl, which is UAB and Miami of Ohio.
That's right.
That might be the best bowl game out there.
God, I like the over in that Troy game already.
Depends on what it is. Let's go to Sweet Baby Blaine. Oh, Sweet Baby. I don't know anything about soccer, but Blaine wins the best soccer take of all time. I appreciate that. I needed that from you. Let's go to CJM_30. I have 24.3-point lead, and James Conner left. And my opponent has D-Hop. If I'm I'm in the playoffs. You got to be feeling it. You're up 24.
Got to feel good.
Got to feel great about that.
Against the Patriots?
I'd feel good. I'd feel real good, actually. I think they're going to feed James Conner tonight. You know, I'm interested to see. I know the Cardinals are missing. I think they're missing a safety and a corner tonight. But God, the Patriots.
Where's y'all's matchup? I saw it was neck and neck.
Yeah. So I'm down. I mean, Deebo Samuel getting hurt after scoring a touchdown on the first drive of the game. Hurt me.
It is.
I think I'm down 21 right now.
I don't think.
And you have.
Yeah, I think I'm down 20.
You have Kyler Murray still to play.
I have Kyler Murray and he has D-Hop still to play. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to lose tonight.
No, he's probably gonna win.
No, I'm gonna lose tonight, and I'm gonna be 7-7. Blaine will clinch. You'll clinch.
19.
It's 19. Blaine will clinch. You'll clinch, and I'm gonna have to win next week against Morning Wire, and then I'm gonna need y'all two to win.
See, this is the thing right now. Biggest games out there. I mean, Team Morning Wire is beating Team Knowles.
I had to have that. It's already over.
Dude,
which is huge.
Unbelievable performance by Team
Knowles right
Wire.
now is 8-5. All right. I mean, Morning Wire's 3-10. They're out of it, obviously. Yeah. So that takes Knowles to 8-6, right? And then Corn Pop Bad Dude will be 8-6. Clavin will have 9 wins, so it's going to be fighting for the 4th spot.
It's going to be the 4th spot. What, Clavin?
If he wins this, he'll have 9.
Clavin's playing next week?
Hero.
Next week?
No, next week, I've got Morning Wire.
Yeah.
You've got
Clavin.
Which,
I got Knowles.
Who's beaten me twice already this year.
Clavin's team's nice.
It's hard to beat a team.
Who's well, here's the thing. If you win, you're going to be what?
This week?
9-5.
9-5.
Yeah.
So 9 you're in, 9 you're in. If Clavin wins, that's 9.
Fighting for the 4th spot.
It's going to come. Well, if Ben.
None of y'all.
Ben, who does Ben play next week? Walsh?
That's a good question.
So you really need, because how many wins does Knowles have right now? 8? How many you have? You have 7.
7. Knowles is going to lose.
And Ben plays Walsh next week.
Ben plays Walsh next week.
But the thing,
you play Knowles, and then you're playing Morning Wire.
Yeah.
8-6.
What's Clavin at right now?
So it'll be 8-6. You need. Clavin's going to have 9 wins. He's going to be in. You need to beat. I need to beat Knowles, all right, and you need to win, because if I win, right, and say Ben wins, but you win, you have a lot more points than Ben.
Well, I know, but how many wins does that give Ben? Because I'll be 8-7.
Give him 9. So you need Ben to lose the next 2 weeks. Then he gets Walsh,
and he is losing right now to Wade, and you need him to lose to Walsh. I got you. Or maybe Kyler Murray will just do stupid stuff tonight.
We'll see. We'll see. Probably not. All right, I'm going to head over the board. God, my left foot's asleep again, man. So what happens when you cross your legs like this? It just falls asleep, like all the way from my foot to my hip. Okay, let's go to the Booster Club leaderboard real quick. Sasha, the Booster Club's 4-0. Revco's 2-0. Jacob Schultz, Sister Rigby, B-Samp, Neftink, they're all 1-0. Tyson's right hook, EJ Runis are 0-2. Ulrich Sharber's 0-4, and Jacob Brown 0-7. But, oh boy, hit the parlay though, right? Hit the parlay.
Who? Jacob?
Yeah, Jacob Brown.
Love to see it, yep.
Said he hit the 6-teamer or something like that, right? All right. 3-3 yesterday, 17-21 overall, up 6 units, I believe. So in the green. Give me First bet, the Cardinals plus 4.5 and the under 53.5. That's at plus 100. Then give me the Cardinals plus 3.5 at minus 145. So I hope the Cardinals going to play good. Let's just put it that way. If you're going to lose by a field goal, and let's not score a lot. Or Kyler just go nuts.
3-3 Saturday, 0-6 yesterday. I took 5 dog bets trying to catch up with this guy. Did not work out for me. But tonight I'm going to go with Ramondre Stevenson, anytime touchdown, plus the game under at 53.5, plus 125. Let's see if we can hit that. And then I want Stevenson to outrush James Conner by at least 17 yards. So that's Stevenson minus 16.5 on the ground, minus 115.
Nice. Now, do we know if Lamar's playing next week? Because Huntley got hurt. They had literally...
they had the kid from Oregon.
Yeah, who I thought would never get
the Steelers defense. Like, thank God. All right, this is what I'm taking. Give me the under 46.5 in the Arizona Patriots game. Really don't like that bet that much, but I'm going to take it anyways. Hey, take it unders. And give me Ramondre Stevenson and James Conner anytime touchdown. I believe that's going off at plus 270, plus 260.
Yeah, plus 260.
Plus 260 in that realm. Terrible day yesterday, 1-5. Cowboys really let me down. You give up the under in the last drive with a minute left. It's a fluke drive. Nick Chubb, is he ever going to get in the end zone again? No one really knows. But got to keep it pumping. 26-12. Got to get it back. So we'll see.
All right, Baby Cone's taking the Arizona money line plus 115, and then Creighton, Arizona State over 139.5. That's going off at minus 110. I'm trying to think in my head the way I looked at it. Clavin is what 8-5, and Clavin's playing who?
Ben.
And what is Ben, though?
8-5.
They're both 8-5.
They're both 8-5.
And Clavin is up 101-99. But projected.
Who does Clavin play next week?
Me. And he's beat me twice this year.
So who does Ben have left to play?
Walsh.
No, I'm talking about
playing Clavin.
Versus Clavin this week. Does he have anybody left?
Oh. Ben has the Cardinals D.
The Cardinals D, and who does Clavin have left?
He's going to lose.
Ramondre Stevenson.
If Ben were to beat Clavin, and then you were to beat Clavin, then I would be in.
Gotcha.
Then I would be in. So I need the Cardinals defense to just step up.
Step up to the plate.
Cardinals defense step up. Kyler Murray will be fine. Because, I don't see a way if Lamar Jackson doesn't play that Walsh could beat Ben. No way.
I have to talk to some people. You know?
We'll see.
Get out there for voices of evil.
We'll see. All right, Booster Club as we wrap up here.
All right, Connor Weaver says, Jake, I'm purely here to respond to your comments on Friday episode about what constitutes a sport. Your criteria for what makes a sport is asinine. Track is more of a sport than football. Cap. Look, I can understand you hating on his definition. I get that. But track is not more of a sport.
Track has to be a sport, though.
I think it's a sport.
Again,
it's the most primal thing we did is race each other.
Again, throwing the shot put, throwing the discus. That's a sport to me. So let's do track. Let's do running. What can you do? And since it's more of a sport than football, what do you do in track that you don't do in football when it comes to running? Football is running. You do running in football, but football also has a ball. You have to run routes. We're not just running in a circle. I'm not saying there are great football players that run track and great guys at track that play football. Okay, but comparing football, saying track's more of a sport than football is,
I disagree with that.
Asinine.
I disagree with that. But I do think track is a sport.
Track's unbelievably
cross country,
hard.
A little bit different to me.
Well, see, that's track though to me.
I don't know. You're not running fast. You're running really slow. Like you're trying
over time, though, so it is fast.
It's still a sport. I mean, chess isn't a sport. I mean, esports isn't a sport. VR is a sport. So, I mean, what constitutes a sport?
So we're saying that if we're going to say that running the 100 meters, just running 100 meters is a sport, then then this is a sport. Then me moving in any way, shape, or form is a sport. Hey, look, it's a new sport.
Against someone.
It's okay, me and you. Let's see who can wave the notebook faster. That's a sport. Notebook.
Well, like arm wrestling. That's a sport.
Sport. It's a
sport. Arm wrestling is.
Well, then racing each other has to be a sport.
But who are you touching?
The
ground. You have to be touching somebody for
again. Okay. let me think of a better way to define it. But like it's to me, track. When you say track, I think of discus and shot put in all the events that
That's
go on
the
in
field
track.
portion.
Like hot. Okay, David. I know you were a track coach.
Is horse racing?
I'm not.
Is horse
Yeah.
racing?
When
a
they say
sport?
track and field, doesn't field mean shot put, javelin, discus?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Track and
I don't know.
field
They
in my
kept me
mind
as
is-
far away
Is
from the
horse
track
racing a
team
sport?
as
Yeah,
possible.
I wasn't exactly. They
Jake?
weren't beating down the doors.
Jake, is horse
100
racing a
meters.
sport?
Is horse racing a sport?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're on another animal.
You just making up shit.
Well, I have to protect myself here. Why would you?
Yeah, I'll just test you. Reed asked us.
Yeah, well, and she doesn't do horse racing. She does equestrian, so figure it out.
Just for people in the Booster Club, this conversation extended all the way to the birthday party this weekend. Like,
Yeah,
this was a hot
look,
topic
it's-
all weekend.
It's
Trust me.
real. Speaking of hot topic, Blaine used to shop there all the time.
Hot topic?
I've never.
What'd you get
shopped
from there?
What do you mean?
You are wearing black on black today.
First of all,
Blaine
my
looked-
wife's,
Blaine
a,
looked like
doc-
a
my
member-
wife's a doctor.
Blaine
so
looked like
watch
a member
yourself.
of
First of all,
Taking
they
Back Sunday.
He's wearing black on
They
black.
told me to put these clothes on. I don't have a choice. That doesn't make it hot topic.
Hot topic.
I got shop at Zara now. Grow up.
What's it like being in good Charlotte? Anyway,
It was great. Love that band.
we appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. You guys are the best audience. We're going to be covering a ton of college basketball, NFL, transfer portal, all type of stuff. Got Boomer coming on tomorrow, getting some college basketball guests lined up for this week. But you know we're always talking football as well. So like I said, make sure you subscribe. And like the chances of the Texans or the Bears making the playoffs, we're gone.